Hello, my dear. Today's lesson is the question tag. What is the question tag? It's a small question at the end of a statement. We do this when asking for agreement or confirmation. When you want someone to agree with you or to confirm something, we use this question tag. The question tag is something that we add at the end of a statement to change it into a question. We use it mostly in spoken language, so you will find many abbreviations in it, and we will see this now. To form a question tag, there are 4 main steps. Number 1, the comma. Number 2, the helping verb. Number 3, the pronoun. Number 4, the question mark. Number 1 and number 4 are so easy. A comma at the end of the statement and a question mark after the question tag. What are the helping verbs? Number 1, they are verb to be. Am, is, are, was, or were. This is the first group. The second group is verb to have. Have, has, or had. The third group is the modal verbs. Can, could, well, would, may, might, shall, should, or must. And if we don't have any of these groups in the sentence, we will use from our minds do or does or did. This is the helping verb. Then we have the pronouns. I, he, she, it, they, we, you. Even if you have a name, even if you have any other nouns at the beginning of the sentence that you put a question tag at the end of it, we don't use them, we only use pronouns. Plus the word there. There is not a pronoun. But if the sentence starts with the word there, you will use it instead of the pronoun when making the question tag. After that, you will put the question mark. A positive statement is followed by a negative question tag. We have an example here. Jack is from Spain. Here we have verb to be is in the positive statement, in an affirmative case. To make the question tag, number 1, comma, number 2, helping verb. Do we have a helping verb here in the sentence? Yes, we have is. So we will use it here. But is here is in the affirmative form, so it will be here in the negative form, isn't. Then we have to put a pronoun. The subject here is Jack. Jack is a boy, so we will put he. Isn't he? A question mark. Mary can speak English. Number 1, we put the comma. Number 2, we will look for a helping verb. Do we have verb to be? No. Do we have verb to have? No. But we have can. It's a modal verb, so we will use it here. Can is in the affirmative case, so it will be in the negative case here. Can't. Mary is a girl, so the pronoun that fits it is she. Can she? Question mark. A negative statement is followed by a positive question tag, the opposite. They aren't funny. Aren't here in the negative, so it will be are they? He shouldn't say things like that. Shouldn't here is in the negative form, so it will be should he? When the verb in the main sentence is in the present simple, we form the question tag with do or does. Let's look at the sentence. You play the guitar. You play the guitar. We have here, number 1, the comma. Number 2, let's look for a helping verb. Do we have any of verb to be here? Am, is, are, was, or were? No. Do we have any of verb to have, has, or had? No. Do we have any of the modal verbs? Can, could, well, would, shall, should, may, might, or must? No, we don't have. In this case, we will get from our minds one of verb to do. Play, it's the main verb here in the infinitive form. So we will use do. The sentence is in the affirmative case, so it will be in the negative here in the question tag. Don't. And the pronoun you will be the same. You, don't you? You play the guitar, don't you? And don't forget the question mark at the end. Allison likes tennis. It's the same. We don't have any of verb to be, any of verb to have, any of the modal verbs, so we will use one of verb to do. Here we have S at the end of the verb, likes. So we will use doesn't. Doesn't she? I can't say doesn't Allison because I can't put a noun here. I must put a pronoun. Doesn't she? If the verb is in the past simple, we use did, of course. They went to the cinema. They went to the cinema. Do we have here any of the helping verbs? Do we have verb to be? No. Do we have verb to have? No. Do we have the modal verbs? One of the modal verbs? No. So in this case, we use one of verb to do. Here the verb is in the past, so we will use did. The sentence is in the affirmative form, so we will use didn't in the negative form. Didn't they? Another example here. She studied in New Zealand. Number one, we put the comma. Number two, let's look for the helping verb. Do we have verb to be? No. Do we have verb to have? No. Do we have any of the modal verbs? No. So we will think of one of the verb to do. The verb here is in the past, studied. So of course we will use did. The statement here is in the affirmative case. So we must put did in the negative form, didn't. And then we put the pronoun, didn't she, then the question mark. When the statement contains a word with a negative meaning, the question tag needs to be positive. He hardly ever speaks. Is the statement in the affirmative or in the negative form? By form, it's in the affirmative, but hardly ever gives the negative meaning. It means he didn't or he doesn't speak. So in this case, we will use does in the affirmative or in the positive case. Does he? They rarely eat in restaurants. Rarely, it means the same like hardly ever. It's somehow like they don't eat in restaurants. So we will put the question tag in the positive or in the affirmative case here. Do they? We have some exceptions. We have some exceptions. I am, let's, and the commands. I am attractive. Aren't I? Oh, why did we put are here? We have the helping verb am. Okay, we have the helping verb am here, so it should be amn't I. But we studied before that there is nothing in English called amn't I because we cannot put m and n in the same word, in the same syllable together. So we have to separate am, not I. But in the question tag, we must use abbreviations. So I can't use amn't I. I can't use am not I. So what is the nearest solution? To use aren't I. So whenever you see I am, it will be aren't I? Let's go to the beach. Shall we? It's the same like this always. Let's go to the beach. Shall we? Commands. Open the door. Will you? Don't shout. Will you? Don't stand up. Will you? Okay, these are the exceptions. Here's an exercise. Let's practice it together. Number one, Dan is late this morning. Dan is late this morning. We have verb to be here in the affirmative case. So simply it will be isn't, right? Isn't. And Dan is a boy. So it will be isn't he? Isn't he? The hotel wasn't good. We have wasn't here as a helping verb, but it's in the negative form. So the answer must be in the affirmative form. Was. The hotel is it. Was it? She has cooked well. We have here verb to have as a helping verb because we have cooked, PP of cook. She has cooked well. So we will use has as a helping verb, has. But it's here in the affirmative form, so it will be in the negative form. Hasn't she? You can't tell the difference. We have here a modal verb, can, but it's in the negative form, can't. So it will be, can you? They always sleep after lunch. Do we have any of verb to be? Am, is, are, was, or were? No. Do we have any of verb to have? Have, has, or had? No. Do we have any of the modal verbs? No. Can, could, shall, should? No, no, no. So we will get one of the verb to do verbs. We have do or does or did. Here it's in the present. With they, we use do. But the sentence is in the affirmative, so it will be in the negative form. Don't they? You will come with us. We have here one of the modal verbs, well. In the negative, it will be want. Not will not, of course, because we must use abbreviations. Want you? Let's play football. We said before that let's is always shall we? You haven't had any lessons. We have here have as a helping verb. It's verb to have, right? Verb to have. So it will be have because here it's haven't. Have you? Open the window. Okay, it's an order. So it will be always will you? The students saw it yesterday. So it's a verb in the past tense. And we don't have any of verb to be, any of verb to have, any of the modal verbs. So we will use did. But the sentence is in the affirmative case, so it will be didn't. The students, its pronoun is they. So it will be didn't they? I'm clever. I'm clever. This is an exception. It will be always aren't I? Aren't I? Dan doesn't read well. We have here doesn't as a helping verb in the negative, so it will be in the affirmative case. Does. Can I say does Dan? No. Does he? And the last one here, I'm not happy. I am not. Here, it's in the negative form, so it must be in the affirmative form. Am I? Don't say are I. No. We used only aren't I in the affirmative case. But here it's negative, so I can simply say am I? That was the end of our lesson today. I hope that you understood it well. I hope that you enjoyed it well. See you soon, inshallah, in the next lesson. Goodbye for now.